Hi guys, it's What's Happening Wednesday with Carrie and
Bizarro Fed.
Joe. Joe is here with me. It is Wednesday. That's what today is.
Today,
What's Happening Wednesday.
it is the day of the Mandalorian.
And hi Kaylee. We've moved.
We did. We moved to a whole nother state.
We moved to a whole nother state.
A whole nother time zone.
We're in Indiana.
Indiana.
My Kaylee girl is coming
Indianapolis.
in. So we are here.
So if any of you are in Indianapolis, man, like, I don't know. Let us know, I guess.
We'll meet up. We'll go have a cup of coffee sometime when we have money.
Yeah.
Because we just moved. We don't have a lot of money right now. Yeah, no, we're not going to start singing Pink Floyd. Okay. So, guys, if
grab that cash, take both hands, and make a stash. New car, caviar, 4-star daydream. Think of buy me a football team. Okay, I'm done.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it out of my system now.
All right, groovy. So, if Joe,
especially since Roger Waters is a chode. What a fucking chode.
He is a chode, isn't he?
He's a fucking chode.
More than once, he has proven to be a chode.
But anyway.
All right, guys. If Joe's little musical rendition at the beginning of the show was any indication,
I'm practicing to go out for karaoke.
Yes. He is practicing to go to karaoke. I talked to him earlier today about doing karaoke with me because I did karaoke for the first time last Friday in a long time. Like, it wasn't my first time karaokeing, but it was
the first time in a long years.
And you can count years. It's not like it was like 20 bajillion years or anything,
it was like
guys.
5.
It was like 3 or 4. Like, it hasn't been a horribly long time. It hasn't been a lifetime. I mean, for some people, like little kids, that's a lifetime. But I actually got up and I sang.
Yeah, you did.
It was horrible.
No, it wasn't.
So if you're wondering what I sang the song Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah.
If you do not know that song, check it out. There are
Wayne's World.
A couple different versions. One that I mostly kind of take my inspiration from is the one from Wayne's World, because I do more of the whole like yell and scream type of thing. Yeah, like Tia Carrera.
It's a rendition of the song.
Yeah. It's a better rendition of the song than the original.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Oh, it is.
It's one of those moments where the remake surpasses the original. But this evening we were out and about. We went to go because it's Wednesday. We went to go pick up our comics
because we were ootin' a boot.
We had to go pick up our comics. It's our first pickup for this location, this new comic book shop.
First pickup for this year, not year. I mean, like
this location
in Indianapolis.
This comic book shop. They bag and board.
Yeah, it's classy
their books. There. It's real classy there, guys. So it's pretty cool, and they use like Previews website for their pull boxes. Shit. Yeah, nice, huh? Anyways.
I don't care. It doesn't top where we came from, though.
Yeah.
Our cat's being a douche.
Our cat is being a douche. So the cats, one of them has gone downstairs pretty regularly. She's not scared. The other one will not go downstairs for more than a minute.
Hardly leave the bedroom.
Hardly leaves the bedroom. It's like that kid that like cries on the bus to kindergarten and tries to pretend that they're sick and never goes to school. That's River. That's River Ravioli, guys. You know, we've talked about River before. We've talked about that little guy.
So anyway, what are we talking about today?
Well, if your little serenade was any indication, it is time for us to talk about The Mandalorian. This is the way.
It is.
And so yeah, guys, this is the way to talk about The Mandalorian. There's been two episodes so far.
We'll talk about the latest one.
We'll talk about the most recent one. So guys, here's the deal, because this is a discussion show. We are going to talk about this in a spoilertastic format.
Yes.
Meaning, if you have not watched The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2.
Episode 18.
Episode 2. Don't confuse our people.
It says Episode 18 on the guide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Season 3, Episode 2, or Episode 18 of the entire series.
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. If you have not, please go ahead, pause this, go watch it quickly, come back. Or if you have seen it or don't mind spoilers, then stick with us, because we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And this is your warning. This is your last warning, because
we're doing it.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And we're doing it well. We hope we're doing it well.
Well, probably not, but whatever.
Okay, so Joe, of course, watched this at 3 in the morning.
I did. Now it's 3 in the morning because I'm in a new time zone.
New time zone, which means when
it
drops at 2 a.m. in Central Time, he is watching it in Eastern Time. So when this has been really interesting, even just these 2 episodes so far. Seen a lot of like growth in Din Djarin, where he now has to have a droid.
You know, I don't know though. I mean, not super a lot of growth, because I mean he's still like in this stupid fucking thing where like, I can't remove my helmet. I gotta go cleanse myself in the waters with fucking.
Well, we see how far that takes him in this episode, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's put a pin in that one.
I am tired of his cult.
And come back to it. Well, I mean, one of the really cool scenes, though, I know we're talking about the second one of the season, but like that beginning of the first episode where you think it's a flashback.
Yeah.
And it's like they're initiating the kid and the big, freaking prehistoric, like, alligator monster.
I think it's an alligator turtle monster.
Alligator turtle monster shows up. And then you're thinking, holy shit, this is how it happened for Din Djarin. Like, this is his first day as a Mandalorian. And then, no, guys, it was not a flashback. Din Djarin shows up and he's just like, y'all still mad at me? And basically shoots off, like, basically finishes off the really hard job this monster was being to the Mandalorians. Man,
he's a monster hunter, man. He's been killing lots of monsters.
He has. So has his little guy. So Din Djarin, we find out, is still hell-bent on becoming in good with his crew again, because they found out during the Boba Fett season, which we had talked about on the show. If you want to go way back in the time machine, I think we talked about every episode of Boba Fett on the show.
Probably did.
Yeah. So Din Djarin was honest and talked about how he revealed himself and took off his helmet. Well, his little cult is not too happy about that. They told him, you are no longer a Mandalorian, so technically he is in exile.
I mean, like, okay, they're like, you're no longer a Mandalorian, but they let him keep his armor, his fucking sword, his like
right,
all this cool shit, man. So it doesn't even matter.
I know, like he fought for, like he won the sword, in combat, kept the sword in combat, like the dark saber. By the way, guys, that's what we're talking about. But yet, yeah, they let him keep his armor. They told him the only way...
The armor doesn't make the Mandalorian. Well, yeah, it does apparently with them, because you can't remove it.
You can't wear it if you're not a Mandalorian. So he's hell-bent on redeeming himself. And what does he have to do to redeem himself? Well, he has to bathe in the living waters underneath the mines of Mandalore. Well, there's one problem. Mandalore, years before Din Djarin, is trying to do this, got ransacked and destroyed, basically, by the Empire.
It's been destroyed by them first, by Mandalorians, but then...
Well, Mandalorians also did infighting, kind of like what Bo-Katan mentions. And it was all fucked up by a number of times and a number of reasons and a number of people. So, it's fucked, right? And a lot of people think that Mandalore is a wasteland and you can't breathe the air there, and so nobody is there, okay? You have this little planet where Bo-Katan resides.
Mm-hmm.
And she is there by herself. And what you find out is the reason she's there by herself is because she's kind of given up. She tells Din Djarin in the first episode, she's just like, he's like, well, where is everybody? And she's like, well, they're out doing their thing. Go find them in this area. You wave that darksaber around, you'll get them to follow you. They'll follow you, no problem. So she's a little bitter, with good reason. This is all that she's ever wanted. I mean, go back to Clone Wars, go back to Rebels. This is all she's ever wanted.
Yeah.
And so when we get into this episode, he runs back to Tatooine because he wants to find a part for IG-11, because he trusts IG-11 to check out the atmosphere.
Which
content.
none of this makes fucking sense. They got fucking atmospheric sensors on their ships, man. It's like... I'm sorry, I love the show, but that part is kind of weird.
Well, but would his ship have it because it's kind of an older ship?
Yes, it would have it.
Okay, the Naboo ship would have it.
I guess not. I don't know. I think it would. Yes, I think they would have had that for thousands of years on ships.
Oh well. I contend that he could have found the Doctor and the TARDIS could have run that. But anyways, so the episode basically starts out, he visits his good buddy on Tatooine, the mechanic. Peli. Yes. And Peli is...
swindling some Rodian.
Yeah, she is. And it's working out for her. Like, but she doesn't, of course, she never swindles Din Djarin because she likes him. She tries, but never, like, her heart's never fully in it. Because she loves that little guy. She loves that little guy. And, so she gets him to take R5.
Yeah, huh?
Hero of the rebellion.
He's not really a hero. I mean,
come on. He's a hero of the rebellion.
I gotta reread his story a long time ago.
Yeah. So,
he used to be Skippy the Jedi droid in the other.
Really? He had a different name?
It's a legend story that was also a legend story at the time. It never was canon. It was just in a Star Wars Tales magazine called Skippy the Jedi droid.
Weird. So, those of you that are maybe casual fans of Star Wars may remember all the way back at the beginning of A New Hope, where Luke and his uncle are...
He's got a bad motivator.
Yeah, they're going to go buy droids. And they go to the Jawas to buy some droids. And oh god, the first name is eluding me right
Owen.
now. What?
Owen.
Uncle Owen, thank you. Is like, well, I'll take this one and this one. So he picks R5, and then R5 is like, oh, can't do that. Like, makes himself like. Supposedly the story is
In the old canon, yeah. I don't know what it is.
In the old canon, he makes himself go like all haywire in front of Luke and Owen, so that R2 can complete his mission. And if it wasn't for R5 doing that,
who knows?
Who knows what would have happened?
Anyway,
so,
he's got R5.
He's got R5, okay? And they go ahead and they take R5 and they go to Mandalore. Well, they find out, first off, Mandalore, you can breathe the atmosphere. It's A-okay, right? When it comes to atmosphere. Other than that, it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's glass.
Yeah. And then you go down into the underground city and it's completely fucked up. But then again, nobody has really been there except for monsters in several years. In a number of years. Long fucking time. So at first, Din Djarin and Grogu are working their way through, and they are they are encountering monsters, all this jazz. They encounter what I'm thinking is like
a weird cyborg monster.
I'm thinking it was
cool looking, man.
Some kind of like equipment for something. Like
I don't know.
I don't know exactly what it was. And if Joe doesn't know,
definitely a cyborg.
Yeah, it's definitely a cyborg type thing.
Because it's got that eye and.
Yeah, it was a really weird eye, and it like had different like levels. So like it would be like small to start with, and then it could be like about the size of a human, and then it could be in this big like spider-like monster.
Spider mech monster guy.
Yeah. So Din Djarin gets captured by this. And it's not looking good. You know, Grogu tries to save him. And he's like, go get Bo-Katan.
And then they get there. And, like, Bo-Katan's like, he's back. I'm going to finish this once and for all. And then she sees this baby Grogu. And she's like, all right, I'm helping.
Yeah. Where's Din Djarin? And she's like, okay.
It didn't even take her long to be like, all right, I'm going to help. It didn't even take anything.
Because Bo-Katan.
Yeah, I know.
So, Grogu and R5 get Bo-Katan.
Oh, there's a little thing, like, Din Djarin is fighting with the Darksaber for that cyborg guy, and he's having a hard time with it. It's heavy for him.
So, if you were watching Boba Fett, you first really got to see Din Djarin really use the Darksaber. And it's heavy for him. Like, you would think that a lightsaber is not that heavy, but supposedly if someone is struggling mentally with it, it's going to be heavy. It's going to get heavy and heavier the more you wield it. Stop that, River. It's going to get heavier the more you wield it, and he used it to try to fight off this cyborg monster. This is very important. Put a pin in that. We'll come back to it. So you get Grogu goes and picks up Bo-Katan.
Yes, I got that part. I was doing the fast version of it to get to the fun parts.
So, okay, so Grogu picks up Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is
they leave in her ship.
They come back to Mandalore, and she's like, okay, you got to show me where where he's at, and so he's leading her through everything. She's telling him a little bit about Mandalore and everything, and they get attacked by monsters. More monsters, and Bo-Katan,
they look like the Morlocks from the Time Machine.
Okay.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda. I'll have to look it up again, but I think they kinda do.
These are, to me, they're also kind of like, God, centaurs? No, not centaurs.
No.
Cyclops.
Kind of, yeah, only they have 4 eyes.
Only they have 4 eyes. Yeah. Like,
they're like quadcopses.
Like the size. Yeah. Like, but the size and the overall, like, of them, like, made me think of, like, those kind of beings. Hey, River. So Bo-Katan kicks ass, and I love this line. He's all like impressed by her. He seems impressed, and he's grateful for her. Grogu is, and she's like, "What? You thought your dad was the only Mandalorian?" So they continue, and they get to the point where Din Djarin is being held, and Bo-Katan then starts fighting the cyborg monster.
Yeah, and she's getting her ass whooped until...
She is getting her ass handed to her until she sees the Darksaber.
Where she fucking takes it, and she has no problem wielding it at all.
She has absolutely no problem wielding that thing at all. And if you were looking for symbolism, well, folks...
Dude, that part was gnarly, dude. That part was awesome. When
I saw that, I was like, oh my God. I said out loud, she had no problem wielding that thing.
None, dude. She was like, this is second nature to her. And if you wanted symbolism, that's some fucking symbolism. She is meant to wield that weapon. Yeah.
Which makes me sad that when he gets out of there, he takes it and he puts it back on his belt.
He can't just give it to her.
He can't just give it to her. That makes me so sad that she can't just be like, oh, okay, well, I used it in combat. I'm good. River, you got something to say? Do you got something to say, River Ravioli?
He doesn't talk much.
He doesn't, unless he really has something to say. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on the recording, but he was just meowing. Oh man, that would be so cute if they can hear that on the recording.
What is it, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Anyways.
Anyway. So she's like, if you're still hell bent on doing all this stuff, let me tell you a little bit about what you're doing, a little bit about the history, and I'll go along with you. You know, so they go and they
have a history lesson.
She gives them a history lesson because she is part of the, royal family, and she tells him about how
she was anointed in
the waters, and how it was just you did the creed and you did all that.
But it was just formality.
It was a formality, and
because people like to see the princesses and like whatever.
Yeah, they like to see that and everything like that, and she talks in a way about her father,
which we don't know much about, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, she talks about remembering him and being happy to make him proud, and all that. I wish she would have talked about Satine.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe she still will. I was really hoping she would mention Satine, which, if you are not aware of Clone Wars,
watch it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, especially anything having to do with the Mandalorians. Satine is the Duchess Satine.
Is her sister.
Is her sister, who was the ruler of Mandalore for a while, and also Obi-Wan Kenobi's like lady friend.
Yeah.
He almost left the Jedi Order for her.
But I mean, and Bo-Katan is not a good guy in this either. She's a bad guy.
She isn't. You have to wait until like
the end. Like she's a good guy for like an episode.
The end, but then she comes back in Rebels, and she's like iffy at first, but then she's really cool. Yeah. So
she fights her sister. I mean, not literally fights her sister.
Not literally, because her sister is like
a pacifist almost.
Yeah. So
Anyway, where were we?
She's giving him this history lesson. She tells him about her father, and she's very like warm and beautiful about it.
Yeah.
And Din Djarin just stops, and he looks at her.
No, the part where she stops is when she says that he died protecting Mandalore, and then he was like, "This is the way."
She's talking about him and being very warm about him and talking about the history and everything like that. And she says he died protecting Mandalore, and Din Djarin just stops, and he looks at her and he says, "This is the way."
Yeah, I like that part a lot.
Yeah, showing great reverence for her father's sacrifice. So they continue. They get to the waters, the pool of water.
Yes, and Din is getting ready to anoint himself. Anoint, is that the word? Anoint?
Bathe, anoint, bathe, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's saying the creed as he's walking in. Like he takes his major, like items that shouldn't be in water kind of thing.
He takes his scarf off. That's pretty much it. His freaking cape.
Scarf. He takes his cape. He takes his he takes the Darksaber off.
Yeah.
He takes the jetpack off. And then he starts walking into the water and saying the creed. Well, then all of a sudden he's in the water. He's almost submerging himself, and he gets swooshed down by something.
And it doesn't even take Bo a second to think, "Oh, gotta save him again." Geez, she's just saving him all this whole episode.
That's the Mandalore. She is a. You know what? I was sitting there
keeping her people safe.
I was sitting there for a while, ever since Din Djarin got the Darksaber, that sometimes people, sometimes the best leaders are the ones that don't want to do it, that fall into it. But this episode, right here, like, she can pick up the saber, it's nothing to her. There's no question when she sees that Grogu is alone, she has to go help. When he gets pulled down the water, it's like nothing. She jumps into the water after him and pulls him out. And on their way,
they see something really awesome.
Joe, I'm going to let you do the honors. Why don't you tell people what it is?
They see an eye, a big eye, a really, really big eye. And when you pull back, it's a damn mythosaur.
I let you do the honors on that one.
It's a mythosaur. That thing is awesome. I cannot wait for the next episode.
Yeah.
Because that was the end of the episode.
Yeah, they pull him out. He's out, and that right there is the end of the episode. So, how are you enjoying the season so far, Joe?
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far. I've seen some lukewarm feelings in social media for the first episode. They thought that it was a little too meh.
I liked the Bad Batch more than the first episode.
Yeah,
at that
like
time.
the episode that happened the same night with the Bad Batch. But then the Bad Batch had like kind of started off.
The Bad Batch had an awesome episode that you're going to have to watch.
Okay.
It's real good.
You were telling me a little bit about it.
Yes.
But we didn't warn anyone about spoilers for the Bad Batch.
No, I'm just saying that watch the Bad Batch too, guys. It's a good show.
It started, the season though, you were telling me, and from what I saw, it started out kind of slow.
Yeah.
And now it's really kind of ramping up.
It's ramping up, man. It's pushing the story forward finally again. So.
Yeah. Rather than just, little arbitrary things here and there.
This was a whole, I hated Crosshair. Hated him.
Yeah.
Like, I did not want him to get a redemption arc and stuff. And it's just a really good episode.
It's a really good episode. I haven't seen it yet. Joe was telling me it's a good episode, and I believe him whenever he because he's usually on the mark with this.
Except for with Andor, huh?
Okay.
The best Star Wars show ever.
Joe has been trying to convince me to watch Andor. I was uninterested because I don't like the Carrie character of Cassian Andor. But he may have worn me down, guys. I might have to go ahead and watch it. I might have to watch Andor, guys.
I started up watching Obi-Wan again.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm on episode 3.
No. So, yeah, that's pretty much episode 2, with a little bit from episode 1 of The Mandalorian to spice it, you know, and give perspective on what's going on. When Din Djarin got the Darksaber, I was all for Din Djarin being the Mandalore.
I'm still not.
But I'm Team Bo-Katan now.
Yeah.
I think that there's got to be a way for Bo-Katan to get the Darksaber back and lead her people.
Man, I just hope she doesn't die this season. I don't know.
That would suck ass. Yeah, Disney, if you're listening to us, Disney, Lucasfilm, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni.
Don't kill her off.
Don't kill Bo-Katan off. I want my headcanon to
but
be
I mean, like that
like,
could be the catalyst
done,
that brings Mandalore together.
What?
It could be the catalyst that brings the Mandalorians together.
Absolutely not. No. Don't kill our girl Bo-Katan.
I don't know. I just have this feeling, but I don't know. It's just
Katie Sackhoff does great characters like that.
Yes.
Like, just look at Starbuck, constantly, you know, sacrificing herself to get to the new planet, to the new world.
Earth.
So, Earth. Okay, yeah. If you haven't watched Battlestar Galactica, watch it.
You know what? It's old enough. We don't have to say spoiler alert.
No.
It's over a decade old.
It's old enough, and plus there's 2 different versions of it. So
yeah. They're trying to find Earth in both versions.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, that's about all. That's about all for this week.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about the next episode next week.
If we don't, then we'll find something else to talk about. But anyways, guys, I hope you liked the show. Thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you're thinking about The Mandalorian season 3 so far. If you like what we're doing here, please share with your friends. That's how people find out about us, you know, and they come and they check out the channel and they subscribe. So that's always fun. And anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. Remember, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. And remember, the complacent never make a difference. Have a good evening. We'll be seeing ya. Bye.
Goodbye.